What's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Doc and thank you so much for joining me. Today is Monday. You know what that means? It's Market Monday. One day I'm gonna get a real cannons and it's gonna be so dope. For those who know my channel, thank you and welcome back. And if you notice, something's a little different. That's right, I'm at a new place. I am currently in Atlanta visiting my family. So there might be a little bit of background noise because I'm in a hotel, but I didn't want to let another Market Monday go without me actually talking about this stock. Today's market pick is Apple Corporation. This is a stock that I've loved and I definitely want to get more into. I actually do have a current holding in about 2 stocks. Not a lot, but it's part of my portfolio. So last week they actually did an earnings call and they have said they have done a profitable quarter, which is wild because if you really think about it, we are really still in a recession. People are not necessarily working, so that means people aren't getting paid as much, they're not spending as much money, so that means that these different companies are not having an opportunity to get more and more profit. But actually Apple has done it and I'm so proud of this company. I'm so proud to be a stakeholder in it. Also on the earnings call, they have announced they are going to do a 4-for-1 stock split. For those who don't know, 4-to-1 stock split is basically meaning they are taking one stock and splitting it into 4. So for example, if I was to have one Apple stock and then I was to cut that stock into 4 different pieces, I would still have a whole Apple, but it's now 4 different pieces. Now right now they're trading about $400, $435 I believe at market close. So if we had to approximate, if we cut that in 4 different halves, instead of you having one whole $400 stock, you now have 4 whole $100 Apple stock. You would still have the same financial holding in it, just a different amount of shares. So if I was to take this hotel knife that I definitely did not take from my room or whatever, and I was to a stock, I would end up having 4 halves. Now, considering this is not the best knife I ever had, this is not 4 equally stocks, but for the sake of the video, let's pretend they are 4 equally halves. So now I can sell or buy more Apple stocks at $100 per share, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if I should eat this. I don't even know if that knife was necessarily clean, so I'm gonna put this over there. So Doc, you're telling me they just took a whole stock, cut it up into 4s, for what purpose? Glad you asked. So them splitting up the stocks makes the stock generally cheaper. So there are so many retail investors like you and me who are getting into the stock market, who are looking for stocks that you really like, but they may be out of your price range, like a Amazon or a Tesla. Always got to drop the Tesla. All these are about $1,000 stocks. If they were to do a stock split and those stocks were about $100, more people will have that stock in their budget. I don't believe that everybody who's a beginner stock investor is going to go into a stock and say, I'm gonna spend all my money on Tesla. That is wild. You definitely want to diversify to a point, because if one stock goes bad, you definitely have other good stocks that hold you up. So that way, now we have Apple, which is trading about $100. In the future, you will have the opportunity to invest more into this stock. And not only that, Apple is a dividend paying stock, and basically dividends is cash that they pay back to their shareholders or stakeholders, which is basically the same thing, and they're not guaranteed, but it's just kind of like a goodwill thing, saying, hey, we're doing business so great that we're going to pay our people money. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take that passive income, dollar bills, y'all. Now granted, this is not like a lot of money. Currently it's about 82 cents per stock, but when the stock split happens, we're gonna have it see things change up just a little bit, so keep that in mind. And all of this is gonna go down August 23rd, 2020. So if you decide to buy in before the stock split, you will be buying a whole stock, but after the stock split happens, your one stock is gonna turn into 4. Or if you had 10 stocks, they're gonna turn into 40. And that's generally how you gotta beef up your portfolio to a point, but don't necessarily rush in to buy it just yet. I believe that since there are so many people buying into this stock right now, that is pumping up the numbers, but these numbers may or may not level off. So you definitely do your own discretion, which brings me into this. I am not a financial advisor, but I am your financial friend. So what's also beefing up this stock is the fact that in September, they are coming out with their iPhone 12. Now, they have announced that this has been pushed back a couple weeks, so we don't know if that means in October or November, but it's still coming out. But with this iPhone coming out, they're going to be having 5G, and having a 5G phone is going to have an opportunity to have a better experience with your iPhone, whether it's just with social media and taking pictures or just processing power, just all together. It is just the next level of internet speed. Another thing that's coming up is that Apple has bought a Canadian-based company called MobiWave, which is a contactless payment system. So with them buying that, that means other businesses who are small businesses who have invested in Square, who are trying to get their payments through credit cards or whatever have you, that now have another avenue to definitely invest in. So think of it like this. So instead of you having your iPhone and you're having a Square that you plug into it and you use a card, or you have a whole terminal from the Square company, you now can use your iPhone and take your credit card and then flex on it and then payment. You don't even have to have a swipe. So that is something that's going to be really cool, and it's going to be a part of just having an iPhone, and thus brings us into our next section, which is the Apple ecosystem. Now, a few weeks ago I brought up the Apple ecosystem to my friends and I was like, what's the Apple ecosystem? They didn't say it exactly like that, but that's how I heard it. And to be honest, I never really knew what it was until Marquez Brownlee on his channel explained what the Apple ecosystem is. I am actually linking his link in the description. He's a great YouTuber, talks about tech. I definitely learned a lot from him. So if you're looking for somebody to subscribe about tech, that's the guy to look at. But in a nutshell, all it is that Apple has taken steps to combine all of its products to work together. So if you're thinking about AirPods, if someone owns an AirPod and does not own any Apple products, those AirPods are completely useless. Only people who have Apple products have an AirPod. So they created a product that makes you want to buy that product to work with its product, if that makes sense. So if you decide to buy any other wireless headphones, you would gear more towards getting Apple as opposed to another competitor, because they haven't produced a product that works specifically for your phone and have opportunities to level up per se. And if that still doesn't make any sense, just think of it like this. If you have an iPhone and you've been texting and you get that green bubble and all of a sudden you turn into royalty and go, ugh, peasants, who dares touch me with a green bubble or an Android? Ugh, gross. And I'm pretty sure that's how all iPhone people respond when they see a green bubble, but all the other products, they work together in tandem. So if you're doing something on your phone, you can do it on your laptop as well. And also you have the Apple Music, Apple Card, Apple hats. Okay, they don't have Apple hats, but they have Apple watches, which I don't have. So the ecosystem is kind of like a trap or something that you just kind of get into and you kind of never really leave, because you have this one thing and it's hard to change from an iPhone to an Android. So Marquez talks about that more in depth, so definitely check him out down in the description, or I'll probably link it up here somewhere, so, or over here, whichever. So in conclusion, I think this is a great stock to own. Definitely do your own research. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy with a camera and a spare room inside of a hotel that he is pretending to be a YouTube studio, and hopefully nobody walks through that door and see what I'm doing. You know how odd it is to explain to people what you do? Oh, what am I doing? Yeah, I'm a YouTuber. Stocks. How much money you got? So, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but I am your financial friend. So, hit me up sometime. Definitely comment down in the description if you're thinking about buying this stock. Also, what is the best color apple? Is it a red apple, a green apple, a yellow apple, or whatever color this is? Some people say it's golden. I'm not even sure if I'm going to eat this apple or not. I don't know. Something about hotel apple. And lastly, if you want to support the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button so that way you can see more videos in the future. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you next week for another Market Monday. You have a whole nother system that you use your credit card. Yeah, people. I don't know what we're clapping for, but I don't know if y'all can hear that. So I'm gonna hold rewind. And lastly, if you want to support the channel, think about it. And lastly, if you want to support the channel, definitely